What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a little bit of a look at some new Keyforge cards. I'm so excited I get to do new Keyforge videos again. We've been doing a lot of Transformers videos on this channel lately purely because there's been a lot of Transformers news. Let me be completely clear. I adore Transformers. I adore Keyforge. Sometimes I need to make lots of Transformers videos, sometimes I need to make lots of Keyforge videos, but I'm going to be commentating all of the games from the Denver Vault Tour, as well as doing all the new cards that are revealed, so don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a lot of Keyforge videos coming. Today, we need to look at some new Mars creatures. Now, the other day, we had a look at some new Mars cards. We were focusing on actions and upgrades, including the ridiculous Martian Generosity. Today, we got a couple of creatures to look at, although weirdly, they spoiled a Brobnar creature in the same video that they spoiled Mars and Logos. It was a Mars and Logos article where they chucked us a new Brobnar creature. And I thought I could worry about this, or I could just chuck it in this video where I've got a bit of time and space. So I am. But we'll start off with Mars, and we'll start off having a little bit of a look at Mindworm, not to be confused with Collector Worm, that is also coming in this set, but that we have previously had a little bit of a look at, though we did have a nice clear image given to us this week. So Mindworm then, what does it do? Well, bad news, you're a 1-power creature. Good news, you've got elusive, so your opponent will need to attack you twice in one turn to get rid of it. The first time a creature with elusive is attacked, that is to say your opponent starts it, not you, the fight never happens. Hey ho. And it's got a nice little skill. Before the fight, the creature Mindworm fights deals damage equal to its powers to each of its neighbours. I know, right? And my immediate thought here was another one of the new cards that we saw from Wave 2, that being Age of Ascension. The Brobnar card, Lollop the Titanic. I know, right? Here's the thing. Lollop reads, it deals no damage when attacked. So when you attack it, you deal damage, you just don't take any back. But it's an 11-power creature. So now you attack it, and you get to do 11 damage to each of its neighbours. Well, clearly, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to take both of them out. Unless it's something ridiculous like a Khalifi dragon, or some other ridiculously huge creature we're getting in Age of Ascension, it's not going to survive. So you could essentially read this as take out both of its neighbours. Now, this could be read as it deals damage equal to Mindworm's power, but it seems fairly clear to me that you are dealing damage equal to the power of the creature you are attacking. So if you go after something like Lollop the Titanic, you're basically taking out 2 creatures. And okay, you're doing like 1 damage to Lollop the Titanic, and you don't have Skirmish, so you are going down incidentally. This ain't going to survive a fight. Now, to be fair, maybe you're able to give it Skirmish. One of the really cool Mars cards we looked at yesterday, or a day or two ago, depends when these are uploaded, was the very snappily named Killzord Mark 9001, which gives a creature Skirmish. Skirmish means that if you start the fight, you take no damage back. Mindworm, as it starts, doesn't have Skirmish. Now, the good news for you, it's a before fight ability. Fight abilities only come in if you survive the fight. But the fact of the matter is, before the fight, you're going to take out both the neighbours or at least deal a bunch of damage. You want to pick the most powerful creature on their side of the board. And then you're going down. Because you're a 1-power creature with no armour. There are no creatures you can possibly attack that you can survive against. Well, not strictly true. There are very rare creatures like Shadow Self that deal no damage when fighting, though as I mentioned in a previous video, they will still break your elusive, even though they don't deal any damage. So if you can attack something like a Shadow Self, you will actually survive. And incidentally, Shadow Self probably the best target for this, because you deal 9 damage to each of Shadow Self's neighbours, although that would then get directed to Shadow Self. So you'd basically just take down Shadow Self. It all gets very confusing. Point is, you can take out Shadow Self here, because you'd essentially be dealing at 18 damage. So if it didn't protect itself, it would be an amazing thing to go for, because you can do 18 damage while taking none back, but actually it all goes to Shadow Self. So you're at least taking it out. This is going to be a fairly complicated card to get around in the middle of a tense game. The point is, it ain't going to survive a fight, but while it's there and while it's fighting, it's kind of cool. We're also going to be getting another lovely little Mars card, a very difficult to pronounce YX-Lix Stimrager? I'm going to be honest. I need to at some point make friends with someone who works at Fantasy Flight Games just so I can ask them how to pronounce all these Mars creatures, because it makes me sad that I can't pronounce the names of the creatures from my favourite house. Now, this is a fairly beefy 4 power 2 armour, and the 4 power we don't love, but the 2 armour we absolutely do love. That is a beefy character. And when you fight, you deal 2 damage to a creature and move it to either flank of its controller's battle line. So you deal it 2 damage at the end of a fight and you move it to either flank of its controller's battle line. And what's very important here, it doesn't have to be the creature you fight, it is any of your opponent's creatures. So the ideal situation is you take out one creature while moving another to one flank, and dealing it 2 damage, which is not insignificant. And the fact that you've got 2 armor means that you can essentially go against a 5 power creature here and still survive. What you really want to do is go against a 4 power creature or lower, and then you'll be fine. Or even find a 2 power creature, something like Ember Imp from Wave 1, and then not only do you take it out, but you take no damage in return because of your 2 armor. Why would you want to move it to a flank? Well, a really fun use for this would be Titan Mechanic, which while on a flank it reduces the cost of forging keys by 1. Don't do it just before your opponent's about to start a turn with 5 Ember, that would be bad, but it could mean that you forge next turn. But he did give a couple of examples in the article. One of the really cool ones they've got here is Special Delivery. So Special Delivery, and these incidentally have been confirmed as coming in Age of Ascension, because obviously we've not had it confirmed, the full list of cards and Call of the Archons, which are going to be in Age of Ascension. But the ones they're using in articles, they're giving us the Age of Ascension print, so we know they're coming out. So Special Delivery gives you an Ember bonus, and it's got an Omni ability, meaning you can use it regardless of which houses you're active. You sacrifice it and deal 3 damage to a flank creature. If you destroy it, purge it. So here, find a 5 power creature or lower, well, 3 to 5 power creature, deal 2 damage, move it to a flank, and then still on that same turn, sacrifice Special Delivery, deal 3 damage, purge the creature, job's a good 'un. Or maybe something like Bullet Eye, which has got elusive, and when you reap, you destroy a flank creature. So move it to a flank, using however you pronounce this, Stimrager, and then immediately destroy it because it's on a flank. That sounds like fun. And then we had a Brobnar creature revealed, and like I said, it doesn't really fit in my Mars creatures video, but I don't want to do a video just on this, so let's pop it in here, shall we? Ogopogo. A 6 power creature, that's pretty high, but no armor unfortunately. After Ogopogo attacks and destroys a creature, you may deal 2 damage to a creature. Now this is not a fight ability, because you've got to survive the fight and you've got to destroy a creature. Now, technically it's not a fight ability, so you don't have to survive the fight, but how are you going to deal 2 damage to a creature if you've been destroyed as well? So it seems fairly obvious to me that this will only work if you've actually survived the fight. I believe if you both get destroyed, it don't work, ladies and gentlemen. It don't work. Is this any good? It's fine. Some of the new cards we're looking at really excite me. I talked about Martian Generosity. That card's nuts. Sim Rager here, I don't think it's the best card ever, but if you've got some cards in your deck that interact with flank creatures in interesting ways, it at least becomes a really interesting creature, so that makes me quite happy. And Mindworm, although it's very weak, can be used to take out a pair of creatures at once, which I find really fun. Ogopogo here, it's a 6 power, so it's probably above average. Well, it is above average, unless there's like a whole bunch of really powerful creatures in Age of Ascension. So you'll get a few KOs with this, 1 or 2 at least, and then you get to deal 2 damage to a creature, and maybe it's a 2-power creature like Ember Imp, so you'll destroy it. It's fine. It's not a card that particularly excites me like that. It's alright. Once again, it's a Brobnar card, so we probably shouldn't be terribly surprised to see that, oh look, it likes fighting, and has an ability that interacts with it fighting. It's come on, it's a little bit predictable at this stage. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are some new creatures coming out in Age of Ascension, couple of Mars and 1 Brobnar. And at this stage, I'd like to know what you think about them. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, but please do remember the rule. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about Keyforge and a whole bunch of other games. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.